All right, we have number 25 of our calculator section. So, of the SAT. So when the quadratic function f is graphed in the xy plane, we have y equals f of x. Again, if we have like y equals mx plus b, it's the same thing as saying f of x equals mx plus b. Don't let the f of x versus y trip you out. Treat them the same for now. Its vertex is going to be negative 2, 5. All right, we have a vertex. We have negative 2, 5. V equals, vertex equals. One of the x-intercepts is x int equals negative 7/3, 0. Remember, numbers are important. We're going to pick out these numbers. These things right here, that's key, right? What is the other x-intercept of the graph? All right, so we know they're x-intercepts, which means automatically the y value has to be 0, okay? Because when they're crossing the x-axis, there's no possible y value, right? Because in order to have a y value, you have to be off of the x-axis. You have to be moving away from it in some magnitude. So, in order to find our x-intercept here, all we have to do is find the distance from our vertex from our x-intercept. So we can use the midpoint formula for that. The reason that we know this is because it's telling us that the equation is quadratic, okay? A couple key things here. Because it's quadratic, it's going to be of the form where x has a second degree in it. That means it's going to be something resembling a parabola, which looks like this, right? This is our axis. Where our vertex is down here, we have two x-intercepts. Or it could be the inverted one that looks like this, right? So, knowing that, and the fact that it says one of the x-intercepts is this, what is the other one? We know there's only two x-intercepts, okay? So 2 context clues there that let us know that we're looking at something resembling a parabola, okay? So because of that, we can find the x distance, the distance in the x direction, from our vertex, and that will give us the distance from the other side, because we know our vertexes are placed in such a manner that they are representing the mirror line of the parabola. I'm going to explain that a little further. So let's say we have our parabola, and we're coming down looking like this, and then we stop. We have a vertex, we have our lowest point. We have our lowest point here. We know that whatever's on this side is going to be mirrored on this side. Okay, so our point negative 7/3, 0, let's say it's here. That means that our point has to be equidistant over here. Whatever this horizontal distance is here, it must be the same here on this side, okay? X equals x, for example, okay? The wrench that's thrown in is that the vertex is not at the center. It's not all nice for us. Our actual graph looks more like this, where we have our vertex at negative 2, 5. So negative 2, 5 would be somewhere over here. I'm assuming because that's our vertex up here, and it's crossing the x-axis, that we don't have a parabola up here, but instead we have an inverted parabola like this. That means our point is over here. And then when it comes down, we don't know exactly where it's going to come down. It come down over here. It might be in here. It depends on the scale of the parabola and how much the slope is, how skinny the parabola is, how wide it is, all of that stuff. So we do know that the same concept applies. Whatever this distance is, just like over here, the distance has to be the same on this side. They must be the same. It doesn't look exactly the same because I can't draw worth my salt. So all we have to do is do negative 2, or more accurately, negative 7/3, because that's bigger than negative 2, minus negative 2, because it's the distance in the x direction, not the distance here to here, not that, the distance in the x direction, so just how far it's moving this way, okay? So we'd have negative 7/3, our leftmost point, minus negative 2, our rightmost point, and that's going to give us 2 negatives equal a positive when they're right next to each other. So we have negative 7 thirds plus 2. If you need to do that on your calculator, you're more than welcome to. The answer is going to be negative 1/3. Now be careful, because this negative 1/3 represents the distance between negative 7 thirds and negative 2. For example, on our number line, we see that if negative 7 thirds is here, that also equals negative 2 and 1/3, right, as a mixed number. So then negative 2 is right next to it here. So the distance between them would be negative 1/3, because negative 2 plus negative 1/3 will be negative 7 thirds, or negative 2 and 1/3. So what this negative 1/3 really represents is that the distance between them, or the magnitude, using our absolute value bars, equals 1/3. So we want whatever the number is that's the same distance on this side of our number line from negative 2. So we do negative 2 minus 1/3. And for that, again, you can use your calculators. It's going to be negative 5 thirds. But let's say we didn't have that mental math. We do negative 2 minus. And you can just do it in parentheses, so the order of operations is straight, if you prefer. We see our answer is, this equation. See, this is good practice. Excuse me, this is a good lesson. Even teachers make mistakes. So negative 2 minus 1/3 is going to move us in the negative direction, because we're subtracting a positive number. So what we need to do is add 1/3, because we want to move in the positive direction on our number line, right? Good lesson there. And why you should always think about your numbers in context. So then that's going to be negative 1.66666, repeating, which is going to be in a fraction form, negative 5 thirds. So we can see our point over here. It looks like if we were to draw this graph out, it's going to end up looking like negative 7 thirds here. In between, there's going to be our vertex, which is going to be at about exactly negative 2, 5. And then it's going to come down on this negative side again. So it's very, very skinny bitty graph, parabola that's inverted that looks like this. So we know that our x-intercept is going to be negative 5 thirds, 0. So our complete answer will be B, negative 5 thirds, 0.